Day 57. I'd like to begin this note with a quote from Schopenhauer's essay on philosophy in the universities. By the way, now, reading the essay for a second time, after almost 8 years have been passed, I can see how strongly it influenced me throughout these years. So here's the quote. They will regard you as one who has not entered into the spirit of the game, and thus threatens to spoil the fun for all of them. Consequently, they will regard you as their common enemy and antagonist. The end of the quote. What Schopenhauer did for philosophy, I am currently doing for linguistics, which is, roughly speaking, another form of philosophy. It's been 4 years since I seriously started studying English. As Schopenhauer, I got there from a totally different world. He was a merchant who found his way into science through marketplace, took it close to his heart, and dedicated himself entirely to studying. Having no background, no wonder that he was rejected and ignored for decades by professors of philosophy and academics, not to mention common herd. This made him unbelievably powerful. He got an absolute freedom of speech, and being the most powerful man of his time, built a system of thought that may be equivalent to Egyptian pyramids. Now, one more quote and then I'll record the video. All this is only a scene from the play which we have before us at all times and in all arts and sciences. That is to say, the old conflict between those who live for the cause and those who live by it, or between those who are it and those who represent it. So today I'd like to get deeper into the difference between appearance and essence. In Schopenhauer, we may see that this theme goes through all his writings. So whenever he talks about philosophy or about anything else, he tries to put this distinction between real and ideal. And real for him is the world as will. So it's like real essence. That's probably why he believed in character. He believed that character can't be changed. So we are born with a certain character, and then we may just, in appearance, we may try to pretend that we are somebody else. For example, if you are born as a fool, according to Schopenhauer, you are gonna stay a fool for the rest of your life. There's no way to become a wise man if you are born with a character of a fool. And the same thing like with professors of philosophy. So if you are not born a philosopher, there is no way for you to become a philosopher. You may become only a professor of philosophy. You may go to the school, to university, you may study philosophy, you may remember all these concepts, you may remember all philosophers who lived before, their arguments, what they were arguing about, how they did that, but it's not going to make you a real philosopher, because to become a philosopher, you have to have this essence. Well, again, I'm talking about Schopenhauer's view. It's not my personal views. I believe that it's like there's no character, there's nothing certain about the world and about us, and what he calls will to life or will to live. It's actually a very problematic notion, but I'm just trying to put my thoughts together after reading his essays. So the idea, again, there is appearance and essence, and people who taught philosophy in his days in universities, he considered all of them as mere money makers. For him, Hegel, Schelling, Fichte, they weren't philosophers because they didn't care about philosophy. They were just, people who figured out their way into you know, into science, who decided that it's going to be you know, what's the word? uh, I have to learn how to be comfortable with having no certain words and staying for a little time just trying to find a certain word, because sometimes I see that there are better way of saying something, and I just, since I'm trying to be not just consistent, but I'm trying to speak all the time. I'm really have difficulties with pauses. So whenever I say something, I need, like, it feels something pushes me to continue more and more and more. And as soon as there's a short pause for just a few seconds, I start feeling uncomfortable. And well, that's probably something I need to work on. But yeah, that's kind of, it's to work on your language and to improve the form and simultaneously develop your thoughts and ideas, and trying to retell some materials which you've read from books. It's to do it simultaneously, it's very hard, especially when you use a language which you started using like several years ago, and all ideas related to philosophy in my consciousness, they all are basically formed and structured in Russian language. And sometimes I see that I'm trying to just substitute an English word with like a Russian word with English word, and it's not what I want to do. I want to study philosophy from the very beginning using English language, and instead of just using concepts which I already learned and memorized and applied in my Russian language, I want to use English. But anyway, going back to Schopenhauer, so there's the difference, appearance and essence. And if your essence, like, if you are not a philosopher in essence, you have no chance to become a philosopher in appearance. What does it mean to be a philosopher in essence according to Schopenhauer, and why I compare him with myself and say that I'm doing the same in linguistics, what he has done in philosophy. Well, I'm studying linguistics and I'm studying English, and I'm doing it like all the time. Like for 4 years, I'm doing it non-stop. There was a period, like last 10 months, not last 10 months, since February of 2020 till December of 2020, I was distracted a little bit by relationships. So I engaged in a relationship with a girl, and we lived for 10 months. Basically, we lived together, and we wanted to to be together forever. But yeah, my passion and desire to continue studying philosophy and to learn, it eventually overthrew my desire to have family, to have a usual life. And yeah, it was impossible for me to maintain, like I thought when I started this relationship, or when we started it, I thought that it's going to be possible to reconcile both, like to live with a girl, to communicate with her every day, and simultaneously to study, to continue studying language, to continue reading books. But eventually it came like there was like big conflict in my personality, and like most of my personality, like my desires and goals, it's like I was always kind of trying to suppress it from this point, like from me, like new me, who were basically working on relationships. I was trying, okay, like philosophy, studying, it's not so important. Let's go and make money. Let's make a channel on YouTube. Let's develop the club. Let's like do everything, write books, and make money and create a family. And the other part of me is like the part which were here for like a decade. It was suppressed, and I didn't like it. And I was thinking that I want to study philosophy. I want to continue learning. I want to continue reading books. I want to continue recording videos. I want to continue working on my personality. So I want to continue developing my ability to speak. I want to continue writing. I want to study, and as soon as most of that was repressed, it's like I developed kind of inner conflict. And now for more than a month, I got back to the point where I was before I engaged in the relationship, and now I see it's so liberating. Now I see exactly what I want to do, how I want to do that. And studying philosophy, like for me, it's basically living philosophy. So the name of the channel, which I'm watching lastly, and a man whom I communicate with for last week, the living philosophy. But anyway, so yeah, it's living philosophy. You don't take philosophy as something that you can make money by. You just study it, and you don't need to do anything else. So, well, the question is how you can make your living, how you may make money. No, how? You don't need money. See, the point is that now we have all these opportunities for becoming philosophers. If you're a philosopher, you don't need money. You need books, you need a computer, and you need an apartment where you can live, and that's all. And to get it in Russia, for example, you don't need more than $100 per month if you have an apartment. I live with my mom, and I'm pretty okay with that. So there's no big problem for me. I don't think that it's something silly, as my girlfriend thought and told me. She didn't tell me, she wrote in her journals. But anyway, she thought that if a man lives with his mom after 25, it's like he is kind of, he has some problems. And I don't think that way at all. So I believe that it's not important. So if you have the place where you may live, and if you have a computer, that's all you need to become a philosopher. If you have this essence, as Schopenhauer says it, if you're a philosopher by nature, that's all you need. You need books, and you need to practice philosophy. What does it mean to practice philosophy? It doesn't mean reading all these philosophers and memorizing their arguments and so on and so forth. No, it doesn't mean that. You can't do that. It's necessary, it's important, but it doesn't mean that you need to do only that. What you need to do is just thinking and learning how to think, how to describe what's going on in the world in your own way. Well, probably learning a foreign language. If your native language is English, and you want to become a serious philosopher, you'll probably need to relearn everything from scratch in a new language, no matter how old you are. I started studying English when I was 28, and I started speaking English only 4 years ago. And for me, it's like a big challenge. And as Descartes, you probably heard this, dubious dubitant. When his philosophy starts from doubt, he decided that what do I know? I don't know anything. I'm going to start from the beginning. So I want to investigate the world from scratch. And I think, therefore I am. What does it mean? It means that, I know that I may think, and let's build the whole system of philosophy on that. What exactly am I going to think about? And and he starts from scratch. But he starts in his, he wrote in Latin. Probably he started thinking in Latin, and that's also an interesting idea. So if you're kind of English native speaker, you may just learn ancient language, Latin, Greek, maybe some other language, and start to build your philosophy, your system of thought from in a different language. That's what I'm doing now. So it's so fascinating. I started building a new system of thoughts, and I wanted to talk about the difference between essence and appearance, but again, it's too complicated, and I see there are lots of associations and lots of trains of thoughts, and I try to develop the idea. It's hard. I get distracted by different thoughts. It's easier to focus. Yeah, I want to finish by this. I have just 1 minute to finish. There's two ways of thinking. We may use this analogy by, what was the name of the man? Slow thinking, fast thinking. Daniel Kahneman, Nobel Prize in economics. He is a psychologist, by the way. So, slow thinking and fast thinking. The difference, when you think slowly and like it's writing, it's exactly when you sit and write. And to write this fucking page, it takes me more than to create a video, to record the video. I'm talking for 15 minutes, and my intuition is just brainstorming. I'm trying to develop my ideas in a different way, using fast thinking. And most of what I say, it's probably nonsense, but it doesn't make like that. That's cool. I say that, and then I learn from it. I just watch video, see what I said wrong, see what I said right, what can be taken for next development. And it takes me 30 minutes to, sometimes even more, to write just one page. And I read this page, it takes me a few minutes to read it. So I'm trying to reconcile my fast and slow thinking here and practicing both. So that's all. I don't have any more time. See you later. Bye-bye.